Semen retention will give you a better attitude. You know, let's say if you got a bad attitude, bro, you don't know how to channel your attitude, you don't know how to control your emotions, you let every little thing bother you. Semen retention is going to prevent that from happening. See, you're going to become you. You're going to become spiritual on the semen retention journey. See, you're not going to let every little thing bother you. You know, and by changing your attitude, you're going to have a more positive attitude. You know, attitude can get you in doors that your money can't sometimes. You know, your attitude is everything, your disposition. But semen retention will give you a positive attitude, not a negative attitude. You know, a lot of y'all guys, y'all have bad attitudes because y'all be releasing. And when you releasing, it puts you at a lower vibration, lower frequency. We know that, right? So you don't feel like getting up in the morning. You don't feel like working, going to work. You know, you be yelling at people at work. You be catching an attitude. You know, you don't have a lot of energy. You feel lazy, tired, a lot of brain fog, negative mindset. See, that's when you're releasing. But when you're retaining that sexual energy, I'm telling you, you're going to be ready to get up to go to work. I'm telling you. And you ain't going to mind working overtime if you want extra money. But semen retention, bro, it will give you a better attitude. You know, even at school, you know, you having trouble at school, you have got a bad attitude, being disobedient to the teachers. You're not going to be being disobedient to your teachers, bro, no more. You're going to be chill. You know, it's going to put your attitude like at a balance. You're going to be calm. You're going to be more humble. Way more humble on semen retention. You're not going to pop off like that. Like, you're going to really know, like, okay, like, this man, he's trying to, you know, he's saying this, talking all that junk, because he's trying to transfer his negative energy onto me so he can make my energy negative. See, but I'm on semen retention. I know what he's trying to do, so I'm not going to let him bother me. See, that's what type of attitude you're going to have. That's the type of mindset you're going to have when you get on semen retention. You're not going to let people bother you. You're not going to let people change your attitude. You're going to be in control of your attitude. Because semen retention going to give you that control that you need, which is mental control. And it's going to give you discipline. You're going to be able to control your emotions. You're going to be more happier on semen retention. I'm telling you guys. Your attitude is not going to be as bad unless somebody physically put their hands on you. Now, if somebody physically put their hands on you, then you already know you're going to turn into a beast. You know? You're going to turn into a beast. But guys, when you get on semen retention, man, I'm telling you, you're going to have a better attitude. I got a better attitude. I don't let nobody bother me, bro, like that. I don't. I just be going on about my day, minding my own business. You know, people talking junk, you know, all that, saying stuff, being negative, you know, in the comment section. I don't let that bother me, bro. I used to be typing back to them, you know, going off and all that. I don't do that no more, bro. Because I'm on semen retention. I'm vibrating higher, you know. I'm reaching my higher self. Because once you get on semen retention, by you just letting your semen build up inside of you instead of releasing it, see, it gives you astral powers. It gives you a lot of common sense. It gives you a lot of control. You ain't gonna realize how, you know, out of control your mind was and your feelings was and your attitude was until you get on semen retention. How out of control you was until you get on semen retention. But this is just the blood raw truth. The blood raw truth, guys. Semen retention will change your attitude. It will give you a better attitude, man. You know, I used to have a really, really bad attitude when I was a kid. You know, to the point where in elementary I had charts, bro. I had to get all smiley faces. And then if I got all smiley faces, then I can go to the head principal and they will give me a piece of candy. That's how bad my attitude used to be. But it's not like that no more. You know, ever since I became spiritual, ever since I got on semen retention, you know, it's not like that no more. You know, I just mainly just focus on what I like to do, and I like to put out positive energy. And I don't hang around negative people, man. You're going to stop hanging around negative people that's doing negative things, man. But semen retention will change your attitude. You're going to have a better attitude about life. You're going to have a happier attitude because there's no more brain fog. There's no more low vibrational, negative thinking. You're going to be thinking positive. Like anything that you want to do, you're going to keep it to yourself. And even if somebody try to say, well, I don't think that's for you, you're not going to get mad at them. You're going to still go for what you want to go for. You're going to still be positive. You're going to still be confident about what you want to do. You're not going to let nobody change you or turn you around from what you want to do in your life. See, this is how semen retention give you a better attitude towards life. We all need a better attitude towards life. You know, a lot of people, they negative. They don't have a positive attitude. You know, and it costs them. It costs them their job. It costs them their way of living. It costs them, you know, new doors. You know, new doors that can help them out. It costs them, you know, knowledge. You know, because they got a bad attitude. But when you get on semen retention, you're going to have a more positive attitude, bro. I'm telling you, about life. You know, it's a beautiful journey. You have a peace of mind, bro. Your mind is clear. You're not thinking about negative things when you're on semen retention. You're thinking about positive things. Thinking about purpose. And you have long-term thinking when it comes down to your purpose. But, bro, I can go on and on, you know what I'm saying? But semen retention is going to give you a better attitude, man. So if you got a bad attitude, bro, get on semen retention. You're not going to let, like, all that talking, bro, you know, it's like you're gonna know what a person is trying to do. Like, you're going to become more spiritual. You can become more self-aware. You can be like, nah, bro, they mad. So they trying to make me mad. But I'm not finna get mad. See, he just talking junk, but he ain't put his hand on me, so I'm finna go on about my business. See, that's how you gonna think. That's how you gonna think, bro. And you gonna just continue to have a good day. I'm telling you, bro, this journey is real. Semen retention journey is real, man. Change everything about you. Yeah, but I want you guys to get on this journey, man. I want you guys to try this journey out, man. This semen retention journey, bro. You know, if you want a better attitude towards life, get on semen retention. Like, bro, you wonder why things is not going your way. You relapsing. You know, you wonder why you can't manifest nothing in this realm. You relapsing. You wonder why your attitude is bad. You wonder why you look at everything negative. You wonder why you have just a bad attitude about just life in general. About, you know, you just being here on this earth. Because you're relapsing, man. Get on semen retention. It's going to heal you. It's going to heal you. Slowly but surely. You know, everything is a process. But it's giving you those astral powers so you can avert, so you can move forward in life. I just wanted a better attitude. So I got on semen retention. You know, I wanted a better life. I wanted to think different. You know, I wanted to find my purpose. I wanted to be a happy man, not a mad man. I didn't want to be no mad man no more. So I stepped out and I gave semen retention a try. Man, my attitude has gotten a lot better. Lot better. You know what I'm saying? When I'm around people, bro, I just be trying to impute wisdom and knowledge, bro. That's what I be trying to do. That's what I be on. And a lot of you guys that's probably like, maybe you in the streets, bro. Like, you're not going to be fighting and shooting guys over women. You're not going to be doing all of that, bro. Because your attitude is going to be positive. You know, you're gonna have a lot more sense on semen retention. You be like, bro, okay, even though, you know, I'm dating her and I find out that she messing with this other dude, I'm not finna get mad at her. I'm gonna just get rid of her. Or whatever. Or whatever how you feel about the situation, you're just gonna get rid of her. Or whatever the case is, bro. You're not gonna be out here, you know, being abusive to women, you know, and, you know, trying to make women how you want them to be and all that, and getting mad at them because they're not doing what you want them to do and all that. Nah, bro. Like, if you just gonna be getting rid of anybody that's not trying to help you, that's not at a high vibration. That's not positive. You're not gonna be fighting and arguing with people like crazy. You're not gonna be doing all that, bro.